My issue with this whole Trey Lance situation is obviously it was inevitable after a couple of days ago that he was going to get moved off of. It was inevitable.
Right.
Even if whatever John Lynch was saying that no, most likely he'll be on the team. Like no, most likely he requested a trade, which Schefter came out and said. And because he requested a trade, the Niners had to leak out and say Sam Darnold is your quarterback number 2, and then obviously ended up getting traded to Dallas. My issue with the whole situation is there's people that are saying that Trey Lance is a bust, right? When in reality, I don't necessarily think it's the player. I think it's just the pick in general. Because if you look at it, going back to that draft, 2021, right? The Niners had the 12th overall pick. You could have drafted Micah Parsons, and everybody who was speculating that the Niners were going to go and get Mac Jones was there at 12 also, right? So you didn't really have to give up all those picks if you wanted.
And if they had taken Mac Jones at 12, no one would be mad about that.
Yeah, nobody would be mad about that. But when you give up those 3 first-round picks and you move up to 3, now there's only 2 guys that you realistically can draft, which is Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Now, the Niners went out and said, we're going to get Trey Lance. Even if you didn't draft Trey Lance, right? Because you look at Justin Fields, and everybody's talking about Justin Fields. If the Niners drafted Justin Fields most likely would be in the same predicament that Trey Lance is in. Because if you really look at it and you watch Justin Fields play, he makes the same mistakes as Trey Lance does, right? He's more athletic.
Doesn't get the ball out quick enough.
Right? He's more
play on time,
I would say. But he misses the short stuff, right? Everybody complains. Like you watch Justin Fields last year, there would be guys wide open. He would sail it over their heads, kind of like what Trey Lance kind of did sometimes last year and what everybody kind of talks about with Trey Lance. So regardless of which quarterback, both quarterbacks wouldn't have worked out for the Niners because both quarterbacks would be criticized and both quarterbacks would most likely be in the same predicament, whether that might be Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
So the mistake was trading up to 3. Once they did that, there was no right answer.
Trading up to 3.
There was no right answer.
Yeah, there's no right answer, right? What you should have been using.
Because you made the quarterback even more expensive. You could have had Mac Jones at a reasonable price and no one would have been mad. Yeah.
But even with those picks, right? If you had those picks, what you realistically should have done was you should have got out and went and got a Matthew Stafford or a quarterback that you could win now with, right?
You can't trade 3 first-round picks for a college player unless he's Trevor Lawrence.
Right, like you can't use those picks for a guy, especially if you're a quote-unquote win-now team. And that's where the issue is, right?
Yeah.
The Niners went out and used those picks, and they bought a Lamborghini, right? They bought a Lamborghini, but you have to learn how to drive the Lamborghini first.
And they didn't put the time in.
They didn't put the time in, and you don't even have the time to drive the Lamborghini because you have to win, and you're a win-now team. So what the Niners really should have done was use those picks and go out and get a veteran or someone that you could win with now. The difference with the Anthony Richardson situation, let me finish this real quick.
All right, but then you got to go.
Anthony Richardson, the difference with that situation is the Colts went out and got Anthony Richardson, but that team is not a good team. So you could develop him, and he could suck, and he could play all 17 games, and nobody would care. So
that means the Niners' original sin was in 2017 when they didn't take the quarterback. This is what happens when you try to build a team before you get the quarterback. You're too good. We don't have time. We can't – okay, man, well, then enjoy that game manager you got. I mean, it's great to see you, dude.
Nice to see you too, man.
All right, man, I got to do these more often. I figured like you didn't like me anymore, but I think I just haven't been doing these. All right, man, good to see you. Peace, man. Benjamin, I know I got to get back to you. I got to go on your channel this week. I haven't forgotten.
No, you're good. You're good. Is my audio?
Yeah, man, you're super professional, dude. Okay, cool. Look at you.
Thank you. Well, I'll keep this quick because you have callers, but I was going to put a different spin on it. So we know that Jed York is all about the fans. And when things were going stale. You said this yesterday. And by the way, I still watch you all the time because I think a lot of your takes are real. But when you said yesterday, the Jim Harbaugh thing, the situation with Jim Harbaugh was going stale, and that's why they had to move on from Jim Harbaugh, right? So we can agree that Jed York is all about the fans. And if the fans aren't happy, he's going to try to make them happy, right? Because that's good for money. That's good for his pocket. So my thing is he knows the fans aren't happy about Trey Lance right now. So he's going to give, obviously we know that, Kyle a year. And obviously if he doesn't go to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, that's a lot of pressure to put on Kyle's shoulders. And when Kyle's under pressure, he performs. So I think this could be a year where Kyle, if Brock Purdy does end up working out, could be a good year for Kyle because he tends to, when he has a fire lit under his, I guess I'm not going to cuss, but when he has fire lit, he tends to perform. A year ago or 2 years ago, they were 3-5. The owner, the whatever his name was, goes to the practice, and all of a sudden they start winning again. My second thing is if Kyle does get fired, Jed York is going to bring in, because the biggest knock on Kyle is that he can't develop quarterbacks. Jed York is going to bring in somebody that can develop a quarterback, and that guy is Lincoln Riley. I just think that the 49ers are a sleeper team to get Lincoln Riley from USC if he's willing to come to the NFL, because the 49ers need to learn from their mistakes, and that would be the coach that I would go after. So those are my 2 points, but yeah.
I love it. Good stuff, man. I'll see you this week.